Welcome to the channel A31Avo. Today live in Los Gatos, California, Santa Cruz Mountains, Adams Ridge. Replacing the underperforming little caudal planted in clay. And underprotected in a 5 gopher basket. We're coming in correct with a gem on Clonal Rootstock, Duke 7. Gem Avocado. Dropping it in a 15. And then busting and amending 1.5 times the gopher basket. All right. King's mix. King's mix. Let me drop the cage and mock it up. Alright, I'm mocked up. I'm where I want to be with the gopher basket. Once again, a 15. Below the gopher basket, a spade deep. I'm correct. Well draining and aerated soil. But we have to feed EV Stone organic citrus and fruit tree food. Just eyeball a 1/4 cup. Just a little something for the roots to chase. Let me scratch that in. Right, we're planting essentially a broke-off sleeve. This is a broke-off sleeve. I took off all the soil. It was canned up in a 15. Again, that's going to be heavily amended, well aerated, light, fluffy with the perlite. A little bit of the native, but at the core I want well draining, aerated. Maybe around the lip, I'll top dress with the native, with the clay. Again, it's clay, but it's getting worked for 2-3 years. It's starting to break down, but again, at least 25 gallon, equivalent to maybe a 25 nursery gallon container. Correct. And again, half buried, half mounded up. Once again, Duke 7. Duke 7 Clonal Rootstock. And the cultivar is Gem. Replacing a lamb being choked up in a 5. All right, let me drop it in. Check out the roots. Check it out how a broke-off sleeve is basically clay. Pretty interesting. All right. All right, top dressed the mostly clay on top. But now another layer of feed. Scratch it in. And water. Built-in caldera right here. It'll pull and drain down the path of least resistance, which is going to be the amended part outside the cage. So this is where I want my water ring to establish, right here. Check out the built-in caldera in action, retaining the water in a circular moat around the tree. outside of the cage. I want the roots to chase the water outside the cage. And while draining, now it's just top dress with the mulch, the local leaf mulch and wood chip mulch, and then top dress with whatever it was in the container. A lot of wood byproduct. Again, wood byproduct top dress, not in the hole, ideally, or at least less than 15 or 20%. Zutano in the back holding. Carmen upper left corner now established. Gwen growing. Gem super loaded. So again, that's Gem Zutano seedling rootstock. This is Gem Clonal. Let's see what it does. Next up is mulch and then paint the tree, whitewash. Alright, now underneath the mound, we're properly shaped with the built-in caldera right outside the gopher basket. We're mulched up now, and just to get the mulch kind of working for us too, lightly introduce the mycorrhiza, one last top dress, and then just water it in. Again, Gem on Duke 7 Clonal rootstock. Los Gatos, California, Santa Cruz Mountains, Adams Ridge. Just water that in real quick. You want the beneficial fungus, the mycorrhiza in your mulch, and it's another layer of fertilizer. While draining outside the cage, drop the irrigation collar. Again, right outside the cage. And then the sprinkler. And now we whitewash. It's again originally Go Natural tree paint, tree trunk white. I dropped some pigment in it, sandy trail, lava paint, 1 part water. Main trunk and lateral branches up to the foliage. Underside, but especially the top side. Top side. Alright, the whole tree. Right, check out the results once again. Whitewashed with Go Natural tree paint. Originally tree trunk white, but I dropped some pigment in it for a more natural look. It's a tan, it's a beige, but still highly reflective. It'll still keep the tree cool. And quick little walkthrough again. Carmen. Check out this little sleepy lizard down here. So Carmen right here, it took That needs to get pinched right there. So pinch that. And then the Gwen rootstock suckers. Remove rootstock suckers. Feed Gem 15 Zutano seedling rootstock. Super loaded. Super loaded for a 15. Zutano, again loaded. Zutano loaded. 4 or 5 different spots. And I just gave it a prune. The apical. More Zutano fruit, let me show you. Here we go. Zutano, Zutano, Zutano. Alright, B-type pollinator for all the type A South Fruitful Gem. Struggling Gem, but it's still going. Fig, standardize, and open center. And then this other Gem, Zutano seedling rootstock. Again loaded. Not as loaded as the other 15 one though. But again, feed and water. And then the Hass also holding. Check out that little cluster. 4. So yeah, the Hass is holding. Lambium monrovia in a 5. I'm gonna heavily feed this one. It needs to wake up. And then Home Depot Hass. This one's been growing vegetatively. It hasn't flowered. The root ball broke on install. That's why I'm very careful with the 15s now. I'd rather bust the container than damage the root ball. But it's growing, it's growing. Fruit maybe next year, an alternate of the other Hass. So that'll be really cool, work them both. On year, off year, and vice versa. On year, off year. Alright. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for updates. We're replacing another one, a Zutano, for a Clonal Gem. And this is another Gem on Duke 7 Clonal rootstock. Replacing underperforming Zutano. We were just too wet and native clay. But I know that 2.5 cubic feet, the lower half of this cage, is well aerated potting soil. With the kiss of the clay, not too much. I don't want it to recompact. The clay I top dress. The clay I top dress to kind of bog down the soil. The moisture, not to just let it evaporate. And then this is outside of the fenced in garden area. These are individually caged. Starting with the left is Gwen with some fruit set. There's 2. Again, highly productive, originally a 5. And it matured a fruit in a 5. So it survived holding 1. And now it has 2. Gem, Clonal Duke 7. Little Caudal holding 1. Little Caudal holding 1. A little sunburn, it might fall. Somewhere here. Right there. Right there. So a little red, we'll see if it hangs. But this is little Caudal. And then the Hass. The Hass, it was probably about a foot up, vertical growth. But I left it multilateral. I wanted multilateral, so I pruned it back. That was a hard prune. And then fed, all trees fed. EB Stone Organic Fruit Tree Fertilizer. Peace. Thank you. Once again. Los Gatos, California, Santa Cruz Mountains, Adams Ridge, Zone 9B.